Hello everyone, my name is Siska Febriana Sitompul with student ID number 221073204, and today I will present about my understanding about the fourth topic of discourse analysis, and the title is Discourse and Pragmatics. So in this topic there are four subtopics. The first one is um, the different scopes between pragmatics and discourse analysis and linguistic studies, and the second one is different foci in syntax, semantics, and pragmatics, and the third one is context and context, and the fourth one is speech act theory and its limitation. So first thing first, pragmatics and discourse analysis are the two approaches to studying language relation to the contextual background features. So they actually have a common, each which they both study context, text, and function. So the first one is context. Both pragmatics and discourse analysis study the meaning of words um, through context, and they also analyze the parts of meaning that can be explained by knowledge of the physical and social world, and the socio-psychological that affected communication, that also affected knowledge. And pragmatics and discourse analysis are both focusing on the meaning of the words through interaction. Uh, for example is when the speaker's intention is what we call it, it's dependent through the understanding of both parties, which are the speaker and also the hearer. And the next one is text. Yeah, both pragmatics and discourse analysis are using text to look at the discourse, and the other words to say text is the use of language and also the pieces of spoken and written discourse. The slight difference between discourse and pragmatics in this is when the discourse analysis calls the quality of being unified, meaningful, coherent, but on the other hand, pragmatics tend to call it relevance. Another difference between them is when it's when context, the subdivision of text, which is the study of discourse, is more concerned about the discourse analysis by focusing on the cohesion, while the cooperative principle, one of the parts of pragmatics, is to study about the relevance of meaning and also the theory of relevance, and the third one is function. um, Both pragmatics and discourse analysis are concerned with function, and to be able to deliver the use or the meaning of the language, both the speakers and the hearer should know about the term speech act, and the speech act theory also describes the utterances that are the speaker intended to do, such as promise, threaten, or inviting, or apologizing. And the bigger differences between pragmatics and discourse analysis can be seen from the structure of the discourse analysis. And oh no, discourse analysis is more studying about the large chunks of language that beyond the sentence level, while the pragmatics is more tend to learn about the socio-cultural perspective on language, um, such as examining the principle of social behavior that are expressed in the society, and uh, it also can be learned between the speakers and the hearer based on the context. The next topic is the FOSI in syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. Um, so FOSI is actually the plural version of function. So syntax is basically the more focus on the structure of the sentences. It learns about words and how it arranges to make a sentence or phrases according to the grammatical rules. Um, it also contains the hierarchy between the parts of the sentence and their contribution to the meaning of the sentence or the words. And the semantics is the study of meaning. It studies about the um, about about words and sentences that have meaning and how those meaning interpret differently based on the context that is used to use that sentences. And the next one is pragmatic. Pragmatic is a study of meaning by the context, and the context that is used in pragmatics is also influence the interpretation of the meaning. It learns about how language used in the practice of the society and how it looks like how meaning can be shifted, and it's depending on the context usage. And the third subtopic is context and context. Typically, there are three types of context. The first one is situational context. The second one is background knowledge context, and the third one is called textual context. And the first one is situational context. It is what the speakers know about what they can see around them, and it related to the physical appearance, like where's the interaction process is taking place. And the second is background knowledge context. It is what we call it. It is what the speakers and the hearer are sharing the same background knowledge, such as cultural or interpersonal. So cultural is a general knowledge that most people have, in it's basically different from one another because cultural is come from the upbringing in the household or the community they live in, and the interpersonal one is the specific or private knowledge that that the the speakers have. The third one is contextual context. Um, this is about the speakers and the hearer know about what they are saying. This type of context also have some subtopics such as like grammatical cohesion and lexical cohesion. In grammatical cohesion, that are reference, ellipsis, and substitution. In the lexical cohesion consists of repetition, synonyms, superordinates, and general words. And the last subtopic is speech act theory and its limitation. According to a linguist called Austin, speech act is the action performed in saying something. Speech act theory said is the action performed when utterances is produced, that can be analyzed on three different levels, which are locutionary act, illocutionary force and perlocutionary effect. Locutionary act is the act of saying something, and the illocutionary force is the function of the words or the specific purpose of the speakers that they have in their mind, such as promising, threatening, apologizing, inviting, etc. And the third one is perlocutionary force. It is the result of the words or the effect on the hearer or the hearer reaction. According to another linguist called Searle, the solution to classifying the acts is to group them to some classes, which are declaration, representative, commissive, directive, and expressive. And speech act also has the limitation. Some of the problems of speech act are there is an overlap in the system of speech act, and it has no provision for the messiness of the everyday spoken language, such as utterances or slang like "so there you go" or because they are lack of semantic content and they are hard to be classified to the classification system. Um, the same case also goes to the uh, incomplete sentences, because they don't belong to any specific classification that the speech act has, and there is no neat speech act category for them. So yeah, I think that's all that I can say in this presentation. So thank you very much.